You think you know yourself, but you don't. There are 4 hidden colors that run your life. Red, blue, green, yellow. They don't just decide how you love or how you fight. They decide how you manipulate, how you're manipulated, and whether you're a player or a pawn in every room you enter. You didn't choose your color. It was written into your neurology long before you learned to hide it, before you learned to perform. And right now, without knowing it, your color is controlling you. It's the reason you keep losing the same argument. It's the reason people see through your strategies. It's the reason you feel powerless in situations where you should have all the power. But once you understand what each color really is, what it desires, what it fears, how it manipulates, you won't just see the world differently. You'll see the people controlling it. If you're red, you don't ask for control. You take it. You enter every room like a pressure system. Decisive, impatient, addicted to the feeling of dominance. Other people's hesitation feels like oxygen to you. You don't debate to find truth. You debate to win. When someone challenges you, your pulse doesn't rise. Your focus narrows. You become a weapon pointed at a single target, victory, and you will dismantle anyone in your path to get there. Reds manipulate through power and presence. They intimidate with silence, the kind of silence that makes people talk too much. They command rooms with posture alone. They've learned that fear and respect are neighbors, and they blur that line deliberately. But here's what most people don't see. Behind that armor is a specific terror, the fear of insignificance. Tell a red they've lost their influence. Tell them they no longer matter. Watch what happens. That's when the mask cracks. That's when the real violence begins, not physical, psychological. They'll burn bridges, destroy reputations, eliminate threats to their status. Because a red without power isn't a red anymore. They're nobody. Yet when that same force is controlled, when a red understands their shadow, they become unstoppable, builders of empires, guardians of order, the people who don't just dream about progress. They force it into existence. The question is, are you controlling your red, or is your red controlling you? If you're blue, emotion is static. You move through the world deliberately, slowly, not because you're weak, but because you measure everything. Every word has been weighed, every decision has been stress-tested, every risk has been calculated 3 moves ahead. Blues don't dominate like reds. They trap. They build structures of logic so airtight that by the time you realize you've been cornered, there's no exit. You haven't lost an argument with a blue. You've lost your way in their system. They won. You didn't even know you were playing. Blues manipulate through certainty, through precision, through the crushing weight of being right. They don't raise their voice because they don't need to. Their logic is a knife, and knives don't shout, they just cut. But the blue's shadow is the darkness of perfection. They drown in details and forget the bigger picture. They correct when they should connect. They optimize systems while destroying relationships. Their obsession with being right, with being certain, often kills the very thing they were trying to protect. And here's the trap blues fall into. They think their logic is objective. It's not. It's their opinion wrapped in mathematics. It's their fear dressed up as reason. Yet when a blue masters their shadow, they become architects of clarity. They bring order to chaos. They build systems that outlive emotion and personalities. They're the ones who see 3 moves ahead and ensure everyone's still playing by the rules they wrote. The dangerous blue isn't the one who uses logic to find truth. It's the one who uses truth to weaponize logic. If you're green, you hate conflict. But don't mistake that for weakness. It's the opposite. Greens control through calm, through withdrawal. They don't argue, they absorb, like water absorbing into stone, slowly, leaving cracks. They let storms burn themselves out against their silence, and when the storm passes, they're still there, unchanged, unmoved, waiting. Greens manipulate through absence. Most people think power is about presence, being loud, being seen, being remembered. Greens know the real truth. Attention is the currency, and they spend it ruthlessly. They know exactly what happens when they withdraw from your life. You panic, you chase, you'll say and do anything to get them back. Their weapon isn't force, it's subtraction. Remove yourself, and suddenly you're the most valuable thing in the room. But the green's shadow is a desperate hunger, the fear of rejection. They want peace so badly, harmony, acceptance, to be liked, that they'll hide their truth. They'll swallow their anger. They'll abandon their own needs just to keep you comfortable. And that slow self-erasure, that builds resentment that runs deep as underground rivers. It grows silent, it grows cold, it grows deadly. Push a green too far, and one day they'll simply disappear from your life. No explanation, no goodbye, no regret, just gone. And you'll never understand why. Yet when balanced, greens become anchors, healers, the ones people trust with their darkest secrets, because greens have already seen their own darkness and accepted it. They bring peace not through avoidance, but through understanding. The most dangerous green isn't the one who leaves, it's the one who stays and says nothing, building a case against you with each silent moment. If you're yellow, you live for connection. You see people as energy, as frequency, and you crave that energy like your lungs crave oxygen. You know the exact words that make someone feel seen. You know how to light up a room by making one person feel like they're the only one in it. Yellows are the artists of human psychology. They understand emotion as a language, and they're fluent in every dialect. But yellows manipulate through emotion itself. They distract you with laughter, with touch, with a warmth that makes you forget what you were even worried about. They can make you believe you're the most important person in their world, and then forget you existed the next day. They're not being fake. They're being fully present in the moment you're in, and then they move to the next moment, and the previous one disappears from their mind like it was never real. They'll make you fall in love with them, and they won't even be aware of it. But the yellow's shadow is something darker, the terror of invisibility. Yellows fear being unseen more than being unloved, more than being alone. The thought that they could become invisible, that they could walk into a room and no one would light up. That's the nightmare that drives every performance, every charm, every calculated moment of vulnerability. So they keep performing, keep connecting, keep moving from person to person, draining and being drained, looking for the one who will finally see them so deeply that they'll never feel invisible again. They never find that person, so they keep looking. Yet when a yellow understands their shadow and stops performing for survival, they become magnetic, not through manipulation, but through genuine presence. They remind the rest of us that humanity isn't weakness, it's an art form. They inspire movements, they change minds, they see potential in people before those people see it in themselves. The most powerful yellow isn't the one who charmed you, it's the one who you realize genuinely cared, and you weren't ready for that. No one is pure red, pure blue, pure green, or pure yellow. You're a spectrum, a blend, but one color controls your shadow. That's your power color. It's the version of you that emerges when you're threatened, when you're heartbroken, when your mask slips and nobody's watching. That's the you that people never forget. The you that either terrifies them or makes them want to follow you. Most people spend their entire lives running from their power color instead of mastering it. They hide their red because they've been told dominance is toxic, so they become passive-aggressive instead. Worse, less honest, more destructive. They suppress their blue because they've been taught that logic makes you cold, so they make bad decisions wrapped in emotion instead. They deny their green because they think withdrawal is cowardice, so they burn out instead, giving and giving until there's nothing left. They perform their yellow constantly because they're terrified of invisibility, so they exhaust themselves and everyone around them. Here's what separates the conscious from the controlled. The conscious understand their color. They see it. They stop pretending it doesn't exist, and then they choose how to use it. That's when everything changes. The moment you understand your power color, you stop being predictable. You stop being easy to manipulate. You start seeing the game clearly, and you play it with your eyes open. So here's the question that matters. Which color hides behind your calm face? Red, control, victory, dominance at any cost. Blue, logic, certainty, a system too perfect to escape. Green, withdrawal, absence, the power of removing yourself. Yellow, connection, emotion, the illusion of being seen. Everyone has a color, everyone has a shadow, and most people will never master theirs. But the few who do, they don't just change their own lives. They change everyone's life around them. They become the ones running the game instead of being run by it. Figure out your color before someone else does, because once they understand what you hide, once they see your shadow coming from a mile away, they own you. They know exactly which buttons to push, exactly which fears to weaponize, exactly how to make you predictable. You stop being a threat. You become a tool. So which one are you? Drop it in the comments. And if you're serious about understanding the invisible forces that control human behavior, the ones nobody talks about, subscribe, because I'm about to show you how the people at the top use these colors to dominate entire rooms. Stay dangerous.